And welcome back, everyone, welcome back. Oh my god, there was an intense game going on between our two players here in Game 2, and we have found ourselves in the ace match. The ace match of the final semi-finals of ESL Open Cup Americas 208. It all ends here. We are here to determine who faces off against Max Packs in the grand finals. Let's go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. Forcing the ace match in the last game, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the American Protoss, the red Protoss player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Astrea. Here we go. Predictions will not be open in the chat. We'll be saving those for the finals, as we are jumping in mid-series. I mean, I guess it would kind of make sense, you know, who do you think takes it, who takes the ace match, but it's fine. We'll keep those predictions for the finals. As for now, we're getting well underway. If you maybe didn't manage to tune in to the last game, it did go all the way to the late game. It was like almost a 25, almost a 30-minute game between Astrea and Clem. Ground toss against, you know, Bio Ghost Liberator was back and forth. Just the ultra late game with mass economies, and in the end, Clem did come out on top, was able to overcome and surpass Astrea. But it was a long one. It was a brutal one. It was grueling and could have gone either way. So I'm here for it. I'm here to see how this story does end, how this story does conclude. For now, Astrea being as annoying as possible, it is going to be an economic opener out of Clem. Important to bear that in mind, just because double gas openers are something to, you know, be wary of. But this is going to be a rack expand, single gas opener out of Clem. Very economic. So with this, Astrea can rest easy, as he can get into his own opener as well. Of course, typically we have a Twilight Council or Stargate from this point. The pylon is thrown down behind the mineral line. We have a safety shield battery in the main base as well to help defend against the initial Reaper. Likewise, safety bunker to defend against the initial Adept. So both players respecting each other quite a bit here. And Clem is moving out with his SCV. Hello. The factory is about to finish. It looks like Clem wants to go for a proxy starport. Again, proxy starports can lead into one of two things. This could be a drop into the main, you know, a proxy medevac into the main base, or it could be a liberator. Assuming that we commit, and there it is, there's that starport on the way. Now, if we were casting Gumiho, I'd be like, yo, BC? Battle cruisers? But Clem, again, should be either going for a liberator or a medevac. We'll see which one we go for. Meanwhile, the Adept does shade across the map. We do delay the CC. Very nice disruption here. Good RNG out of Clem, keeping the SCV on the right-hand side of that CC. And we'll finish it. We'll complete. Very nice micro there from Clem. Very nicely done here, as the Adept is going to be shut down. Behind this, it's going to be a Twilight Council opener from Astrea. It's going to be a Blink-based build. From here, we can go in a couple of different directions. We can go 2-gate Blink into a third base. We can go 3-gate or even 4-gate, depending on how aggressive and how safe Astrea wants to be. There's that second gateway on the way, and there is the Robo as well. Meanwhile, it is going to be a drop. It is going to be a Hellion drop into the main base. I'm assuming Hellions, and yeah, there we go. 4 Hellions are moving out. Fun fact, 3 Hellions, 1-shot probes. So 4 more than enough to just line up workers and to just roast them and annihilate them. And we're going in. Now, Astrea does have a spotter pylon. He has 1 Stalker and 1 Adept in between the bases, but he's going to have to react hard to this as we do get into the main base, and Astrea just now gets eyes. Just now gets eyes on this. Boys are being pulled. A decent split here from Astrea, trying to avoid as much splash damage as possible. But 4 probes going to be going down. We're going to get 5. We're going to get up to 6, maybe even more than that. 7. Oh my god, 9 probes fall. And this is already becoming worth it. We get 10. We're going to get 11. And we will finally clean this up. But 11 worker kills this early on in the game is brutal. A very good start here for Clem. He's going to be floating his starport back home. Behind this, Cyclone production has commenced. We have a tank on the way. 3rd CC. Very fast 3rd CC here from Clem. So he doesn't just take an economic lead. He's looking to extend that lead with a faster 3rd. Meanwhile, Astrea is going 2-gate Blink into a 3rd Nexus, which means even though Astrea sustained all this damage, he can't really counterattack. He doesn't have the production to counterattack or the economy to counterattack. He's stuck at home. So Clem has gotten away with this. There's nothing to really threaten him other than this one adept. So Clem is looking poised right now. He's looking in a really, really powerful position. We do shade into the main though. This is a good moment for Astrea. He does get a free scout of the main, does confirm the third CC in production. He is at least aware of that. So he's aware that Clem is taking a more economic lead here, or economic approach. Behind this, Astrea getting into double forge, double upgrades. He's going for a very gateway heavy composition. This screams blink stalkers into charge loss into additional gateways. We're going to be delaying splash damage. But this can lead a little bit more seamlessly into storm. Astrea's trying to get his third up and running. He's being active with these stalkers. Now, these stalkers don't really intend to push in. The goal of these stalkers is to contain, is to catch any move out, catch any drop play. Try to pick off whatever we can. As Astrea is double expanding. I do like this. I think this is very necessary. Astrea knows he's behind because he lost so many workers, and he also is aware of the third base of his opponent, so right into the fourth as soon as we can. It is, in a way, risky, but based on everything that we've seen so far, it is calculated from Astrea. It is something that he can get away with, and that he needs to get away with. Meanwhile, again, upgrades are on the way. Getting very gateway heavy here from Astrea. Meanwhile, the tank count is amassing. We're up to how many tanks? 2 tanks here from Clem. We're moving out just enough to expand and establish his third. Stalkers have arrived. They get a couple of Marines here and there. More importantly, they get eyes on the third base timing. So Astrea, he's aware, of course, that Clem is getting his third up and running. Massive gateway explosion. 8 gates on the way. As I mentioned before, we are delaying splash damage in favor of massive Blink Stalker charge lots. And we need all these gateways to actually facilitate for that. It's going to be 10 gates in total for the time being. It's going to be a lot of zealots. Now, the power of mass charge is, or mass charge lots, the swarm toss style, is that it can fight very well out in the open. It is really difficult to push into these entrenched positions, that is true, but if Astrea can take a fight out in the open in the center of the map, then that's going to be ideal for his army. Now we scan, we get eyes on the base, we get eyes on the massive warping of zealots. So runback coming in from the right hand side is going to barely take down the Cyclone. Not too bad. 2-2 is on the way. Again, we're just prioritizing these upgrades. It's a very Haas-esque style, Haas-esque composition. Getting fully saturated on these 4 bases. Bearing in mind that Astrea is avoiding the gases here at the 3rd and avoiding the gases at the 4th. 5th Nexus is on the way. And the big reason for this is because he's prioritizing mineral income, just for Mass Zealot. It's all about the minerals at this point. We don't need any gas. Not yet. Astrea, he's still just amassing his army. Meanwhile, Clem, upon seeing all those zealots, and upon seeing the lack of gases at the 3rd, he's just taking a defensive stance, which is the correct call. I mentioned before that the ideal for Astrea is fighting in the center of the map, and Clem doesn't want to give Astrea what he wants. Oh, big volley, though. Nice tank shots. Rest of the army getting in position. 4th CC is on the way. But again, Clem knows that he's safest back at home, and he's already in a decent position, so may as well just set up, fortify ourselves, work towards a 4th base, upgrades. Ghosts are on the way. Clem just refining his army here. And again, Astrea, he's looking for a way in. He's looking for any kind of vulnerability in Clem. Do Sniper Widowmine, not too bad. We get 1 SCV, 3 SCVs even. Good. We have a Warprism getting rage towards the left hand side. And now we finally have splash damage. Robotics Bay is done. Colossus production underway. 2nd Robo as well for double Colossus production. It took a while to get here, but we're finally reaching that point. And again, if Clem ever moved out, this massive wave of Zealots would swallow up the army. So Astrea, he is now safe enough to take into this, and he should now be taking gases. And there it is. We have the gases being taken here towards the south to be able to afford all these Colossi. Okay, this Mass Zealot does give Astrea map control, so he has the freedom and the safety to tech up. If he had gone into Colossus first, then Clem with his lead would have pushed a lot sooner. You know, Widowmine drop comes in. Up. 2 shots going to be going up. So far, only on 2 probes. A third Widowmine dropping into the natural, though, and Astrea not quite. Does he notice? Does he react? He does. He does pull back just in time. Do have a recall back home. Armory is done. We do need detection, and there it is. We have detection available. Cannons are on the way. You can see that Astrea is getting ready for a massive Zealot counterattack, but we have Widowmines and a Planetary in position. Clem should be okay. As overall, you could argue that this game has been pretty passive. In a way, it has been, but there has been a lot of mind games that have been going on. When it comes to the builds of our opposing players, their economies, cutting corners. Of course, there was Astrea losing a lot of workers early on, but now things have, in a way, stabilized. In a way. I say that just because Astrea's army doesn't scale amazingly into the late game. He only has 1 Colossus. So the quality of the army is better for Clem. Both armies are maxed, but both armies are not the same. This is another case where the soup does lie. Where sure, we're maxed out. 200 supply, let's go. But it's, again, mainly Zealots, and choke points are the Zealots' worst enemy. That is why, defensively, this mass swarm toss composition struggles to break defensive positions. Just because there's just so much SimCity working against the Zealots. And here we go. Clem does kite back towards that Planetary. Zealots are being choked up. Clem, though, out of position, just rotating around with the rest of his army. Yeah, CCs are being cancelled. Are being killed even. But the reinforcements do arrive, and there's no anti-air. The Vikings, they go straight for the Colossus. No, the first Colossus is going to be going down, and nothing to stop the Vikings. And now we're getting to triple robot production, triple disruptors. Zealots are going to try to engage. Again, they do have a little more freedom out here in the open, but they are being kited against. Stalkers come in to reinforce. We're making 4 disruptors at a time. That's a lot of disruptors. That's a lot of balls, papi. That's a lot of balls. Astrea getting his 5th up and running as well. Again, taking an additional gas geyser, or his additional gases. And he is slowly getting away from the mass zealots and incorporating a higher tech army instead. Now the problem here, because his disruptors are so late, it means that Clem can get into Liberators a lot faster. Liberator range is on the way, plus 2 ship weapons as well. So Clem is going to hit a very big power spike when he gets into his Liberator production, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet as Astrea does push in, does force. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel on the CC. Zealots push in, but we are in position. Zealots do not get into the mineral line. Clem does hold, but the Zealots do find another CC, and we do lift just in time. We do save it. Nice EMP on this entire army of Astrea. He has to respect it. He has to back off. The Zealots are pushing into the mineral line. They're trying to squeeze their way in. Oh, and it looks like we are breaking through, but oh my god, these Zealots are taking so much damage. They get on top of the tank. The tank does fall. This position is being broken. Astrea coming in from behind. Widowmine's going to slow him down though, and the Zealots do get cleaned up. And again, as we get rid of all these Zealots, more disruptors. More disruptors on the way. All of the disruptors, papi. Nerva's going to be going off, does connect on some of those Widowmines, even with some ghosts as well. The Nervas are popping up. We are just diving on top of them though. Bold move here out of Clem, does snipe too. But we have 3 more disruptors behind this. Liberation has arrived. We have freedom. And this is what we spoke about. The power spike for Clem is with these Liberators. We do have a lot of Stalkers, to be fair. There are a lot of Stalkers available. But we just cannot push into these freedom zones. Prism tries to slip into the main base, but we are in position. Even with a War Prison speed. But we're distracting the Libs. The Liberators are out of position. Uh-oh. Liberators are not where they need to be, which means we can break this base. CC goes down. Clem misjudging this. And just like that, this base has been broken. Clem in a lot of trouble. Again, all those Liberators were chasing the Prism. They were not here to defend. Nova's going to be going off. The base is going to be going down. We're going straight for the Libs, and they're being focused down one after the other. The freedom is not enough. Who has the real freedom? It's Astrea, mate. Of course it is. As he takes down, what was that? 9 Liberators, as well as the CC. Astrea has a lot of momentum on his side. Clem has to recover, but I think it's just too little too late. Yeah, it's just not enough. Astrea, he has maxed out. Getting on top of this army, getting on top of the last Liberator as well. And there's just nothing that Clem can do here. He cannot fight this army, not head on. He's gonna try to. The Novas, they zone him away over and over again. Just the non-stop Novas. Giving Astrea so much breathing room. And we blink on forward, we dive on the army. And from here, Astrea, he can just turn around and go for the north, go for the planetary. He has options. And there it is. Planetary has been found.
Time to raise your APM.
Ooh, Nova does graze the army of Clem. And it's barely an army. He's got a couple of Marauders. Does pick up one Disruptor. But the planetary falls. And Astrea, he's snowballing out of control at this point. Again, the moments when both armies were maxed, but the moment when things went in favor of Clem, you saw like so many Liberators were chasing down, or so much of his air army was chasing down the Prism, forced out of position. And Astrea took full advantage of Clem. Liberators are going out to harass. Clem going to be re-establishing his third base. He's got his fourth up and running. Clem still has a standing army, don't get me wrong. Nova's going to be going off though. Bit of friendly fire there from Astrea, but the Novas, they should be connecting. Up. Decent splits, but it's not going to be enough. The army has fallen. GG, well played, and Astrea will take down Clem 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Astrea, he takes down the reigning ESL Masters champion, and Astrea advances on to the finals to face off against MaxPax in a PvP. GG. GG, very well played here again. Astrea, despite having a very rocky start to the game, he was able to recover with his Mass Zealot composition. He had map control and he never pushed in, but that allowed himself to get up to a 5-base economy. Remember, he took a really fast 4th into a really fast 5th base, into eventually that mass robot production, and that transition into Blink Stalker Disruptor. It was a transition that hit just before Clem was able to reach critical mass of Liberators. It was just as it was happening. It was so close. The window was so small. But Astrea, he made it in, and GG, well played. Congratulations here, as we have our finalists. My condolences to Clem. Did fight his heart out. Did force the ace match, but was not enough to take down Max Goddamn Angel. Again, Astrea showed Clem what freedom really was all about. And with that, we're getting into our grand finals. Vetoes are underway, and predictions will soon be open to determine who does take the entire tournament. Who will take it? Will it be the European Protoss in MaxPax or the American Protoss in Astrea? One way or the other, a Protoss will come out victorious. Up to you to decide who. And it's going to be an interesting one, just because this isn't just a PvP, this is a MaxPax versus Protoss. And we all know that MaxPax has a very unique playstyle in PvP, very economic, very greedy, and very much so he invites all-ins, and he just shuts them down time and time again. But Astrea, you know, he's from a different land, he's from the Americas, and he might be able to whip out some all-ins that maybe MaxPax isn't too familiar with or maybe lure him into a false sense of security. I'm very curious. I don't think this is cut and dry. I don't think this is going to be a 3-0. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 in either direction. I'm expecting a more back and forth.